Hello AP Geography and AP Economics students. Today I'm going to teach you guys an important thing. Test prep books. This came out of our discussion in parent-teacher conferences. I'm sitting here after conferences are done and I thought, hey, let's talk about test prep books and why they're so important and why they're very helpful. So first things first, in economics you have two possibilities for books, more than that even, but these are two really good books that I like. Particularly I like the Fast Track to a 5, but you could also get Kaplan as well. Both are good books. In geography, both of these two books are great. I prefer Five Steps to a 5, but you know, Barron's works too. Either one is good. All of these have the same kind of things that make it so nice. And here's why you want to look into getting a test prep book. So first of all, when you get a test prep book, most students don't even bother using these until right before the AP test. And then they buy one, then they freak out and they read like crazy. The thing about these test prep books is you can use them now. They're very helpful, as a matter of fact. So here's our most recent unit on population. Okay? And if you look through here, you'll see there's a lot of bolded words. And these bolded words are, shocker, the vocab words that we need to know for our unit. Now, unlike the textbook, where the textbook will spend pages on pages talking about population density or Ekumene, this book is meant as a review. So all this stuff is very densely included. You just have all this info right here. And it kind of flows from one to the next. And that's one thing I like about these, is it kind of connects the dots and makes it all fit together really well. And you can see in some cases, here's population pyramids, which we learned about. Different types of migration, very good to know. Barriers to migration, that sort of thing. And then at the end, here's what I really like about these. At the end, you've got review questions. And those review questions, in this case, they're only 5, so it's not that much. You can guess, or hopefully answer them. And then on the bottom, it gives you the answers. So be very careful not to look at the bottom until after you've answered the questions. And then the bottom, it gives you the answers, and it also explains why questions are right or wrong. Possible answers, I should say. So if you answer D here for number 3, and oh, the answer is E. Crap. Why? If I look at D, okay, the CBR, crude birth rate, is the total number of live births per 1,000 annually in a population. Does not reflect age and sex differences in population. Thus is not a good measured level of production as the total fertility rate. Huh. Okay. So now I understand why I got the answer wrong. Very important skill. It's very helpful. There's also practice free response questions in here. In this book, there's one other place that's going to be really useful for you as a student now. And that's going to be back here at the beginning, the diagnostic test. And every test prep book has something like this. Now, you can't answer every single one of these questions. However, you can answer ones that you recognize. Like number 1, human geography is defined as a study of what? This is easy. That's from Unit 1. You should be able to answer that at this point. Number 2, cities developed 4,000, 6,000 years ago to provide a center for all the following functions except. We don't know that yet. We haven't learned it. Skip it. Go on to the next one. So go through and answer the questions that you can already answer. And then, just like the other one, we have an explanation. So answer and why it's right, just like before. So here's another good practice method that you can use to help study. And then here's free response questions. This is something that people also like to use. And look. We have fertility rate by region. This is Unit 2. We can answer these. So, again, you have the ability to use this to help you out. Take advantage of it. It's good stuff. And there's also, as always, what people always buy these things for, which is the practice tests at the end of the book. There's always 2 of them. By all means, pick one up. You'll notice the date here, 2014, 2015. There is a newer version, 2015, 2016. You don't need it. Sometimes you get changes because of curriculum changes in the classroom and stuff. We don't have that right now. You don't need to worry about it. You're welcome to buy it if you want, but the older one is just fine. Save you some money. One other thing I want to talk to you about, parents, this is something that's really helpful for you. A lot of times students say, I don't understand how to take notes, or my notes are godlike, yet I do terrible on quizzes and tests. Why? Well, my suggestion for you, if you have some time, if you're willing to do so, is help a student out with the reading assignment they've gotten. So this weekend they have to read chapter 4, section 1, okay? And once they've taken their notes, here's what you can do. Let them take the notes and take the book away from them. Hold the book up from them. Let's say that your son or daughter's over there. Hold the book away from them. Okay. All right. I want you to tell me all about the origin and diffusion of popular music. Popular music, origin, diffusion. See? Boom. Now, two things you're going to learn from this process. One, how long does it take for the student to find information in their notes about popular music? If it takes them longer than 5 to 10 seconds, they're not clean enough with their notes. So that's the first thing. And then the second is obviously how detailed their response is. They should be able to answer your question and tell you all about it without even skipping a beat. If they do, if they have some trouble, they obviously did not read the material properly and take good enough notes. So it's a good way to kind of check their progress on notes. You don't have to do it for the whole section, but you can pick out 1 or 2 sections and say, all right, time to quiz you. Tell me about Olympic sports in terms of popular origins and diffusions of sports. Tell me about Olympic sports. Tell me about folk culture and why soccer is part of folk culture, stuff like that. Relatively easy stuff to do. You can just simply read off the subheading and boom, you got it. In some cases like this, you've got these little dots. It makes it easier. Tell me about 3 countries where the British exported football around the world. Tell me about 3 countries that were used as examples. They should have in their notes something about the Netherlands, something about Spain, something about Russia. If they don't, well, then they didn't do a good enough job with their notes. Okay? So hopefully these 2 tips kind of helped. But this is what we talked about a lot at our parent-teacher conferences, and you're welcome to use it as needed. AP Geography, AP Econ students, same thing works for you with the AP book. Have your parents ask you to explain a certain thing. Maybe it's a function like the productivity function, or tell me about economic versus accounting profit, and you should be able to do that. Okay? Thanks a lot for listening. If you have other questions, please feel free to contact me and ask.